Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video in statics. There are two problems here, exercises here on 2D equilibrium. I hope that through the explanations and analysis solutions to this problem, your skills in statics will be enhanced, improved, and hoping that you can also solve problems in statics by your own. So here we go. Here is the first problem. The uniform rod AB has a weight of 15 pounds and the spring is unstretched when theta is 0 degree. If theta is 30 degrees, determine the stiffness K of the spring. So here is the figure. This is the original figure. I just draw the free body diagram. When theta is 0, so the natural length of the spring as well as this rod, which is 3 feet long originally, are equal to 3 feet also. So the natural length of the spring is 3 feet. Then in this final position, the length of the spring will be increased from 3 feet to some other value, while the bar AB remains 3 feet long, but it is now making 30 degrees horizontal. So the center of gravity of the rod or the bar AB remains here. The distance from point A is half of 3 feet, so this is 1.5 feet. So therefore, since the weight is 15 pounds, the distance of the weight of the bar from A would be 1.5 times cosine of this angle, which is 30 degrees. So that's the distance. Likewise, the tension in the spring, I'll just denote it with T. It is equal to the spring constant times the change in displacement, delta S. Delta S is final length of the spring minus the unstretched length of the spring, which is 3 feet. Since this is 3 feet and this 30 degrees, so 3 times sine of 30 degrees is this opposite length, which is 1.5 feet. Then the horizontal projection of the bar is 3 cosine of 30 degrees. Therefore, the horizontal projection of the spring would be original distance between these supports 6 minus 3 cosine 30. So we can now compute the final length of the spring. So delta S LF minus L sub n. So delta S is square root of quantity 6 minus 3 cosine 30 degrees square plus 1.5 square. So then minus the natural length of the spring, which is 3 feet. So delta S is 0.7179 of a foot. So therefore the tension is spring constant times that delta S there. Then we compute this angle beta. Tangent of beta is 1.5 divided by quantity 6 minus 3 cosine 30 degrees. So that is 23.794 degrees. Finally, we can move T along its line of action by principle of transmissibility of a force. This is the horizontal component of tension which passes through A, and this is the vertical component of tension, which is T sine of beta. So summation of moments about A equals 0, clockwise positive, Ty, which is tension 0.7179 K times sine of 23.794. That's the vertical component of the tension force in the spring. Then times moment arm, which is 6 feet. Then it is equal to the moment of the weight of this bar, which is 15 times quantity 1.5 cosine of 30 degrees. So from here, we can solve K, and K is equal to 11.25 pounds per foot. So that's the spring constant, or that's the spring constant or stiffness of the spring. So that's it for this first problem. So for the second problem, I'll present two solutions to this problem. The uniform rod AB of length 2r rests inside a hemispherical bowl of radius r as shown. So this is the hemispherical bowl. Neglecting friction, determine the angle theta corresponding to equilibrium. So this is the projection, horizontal projection of the hemispherical bowl. It appears to be a cylinder. So since the bowl and the bar are frictionless, so that means that the normal components of reaction should be perpendicular to the tangent to the surface. So if I call this, because this is point A and A, this is ND, I'll call that point D. So because there are three forces on this body, the three forces must be in equilibrium, and they should be following this triangle or force polygon, which is a triangle, it closes. So that's NA. Then this normal, just like the normal to the tangent of a circle, passes through the center of the circle when extended. It passes through O, which is also the point of concurrency of the rest of the forces, like the weight of the bar and this normal reaction at D, because the system is in equilibrium. Then furthermore, from this point to the center, that's the radius of the circle. From this center of the circle to this point D, that's also radius of a circle. So we have here an isosceles triangle. Now, if the angle of inclination of the bar is theta, this is also theta. So that's why, because this is an isosceles triangle, this is also theta. So that the total angle that NA makes with the vertical is theta plus, makes with the horizontal is theta plus theta, so 2 theta. The angle that NA makes with the vertical, therefore, is 90 degrees minus 2 theta. So that's why this is 90 degrees minus 2 theta. Likewise, ND perpendicular to the bar is making an angle with the vertical by experience, and I already explained this in the earlier part of statics, that the angle of inclination is also the angle between the normal and the vertical, so that's why that's also theta. So first, because remember from trigonometry and in geometry that chords drawn to the ends of the diameter are perpendicular to each other. So that means this chord and the bar passing through the other end of the diameter are perpendicular. So we have here the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse. This is a right triangle. Therefore, the length of the bar from A to D is hypotenuse 2r times cosine of this angle, which is theta. Then G is at the center of this bar, uniform bar. So the distance from A is r, distance from B is also r. So therefore, because this is r, and the entire length here is 2r cosine theta, distance of D from G therefore is 2r cosine theta minus r. That's r. So minus r. So summation of moments about A equals 0, ND times this moment arm 2r cosine theta is equal to W, and because this is vertical and that is horizontal, the angle is theta here, and this hypotenuse is equal to the radius of the bar or the radius of the circle, because the length of the bar is 2r, so that's r, then cosine of theta. So this is r cosine theta, the moment arm of the weight. So that's why ND times 2r cosine theta equals weight times r cosine theta. Cancel out r cosine theta. So that means N sub D is weight over 2. Then considering this force triangle, we have the weight vertical, NA, which makes an angle with a vertical of 90 degrees minus 2 theta. Then this is ND, which is W over 2, which makes an angle with a vertical of theta. Therefore, this angle opposite to W is equal to 180 degrees minus theta minus quantity 90 degrees minus 2 theta. Simplifying, that's 90 degrees plus theta. So by sine law, ND, which is W over 2 as to sine of quantity 90 degrees minus 2 theta equals W as to sine of 90 degrees plus theta. You may expand sine 90 cosine 2 theta minus cosine 90 sine 2 theta by your own, but sine of 90 degrees minus something is cosine of something. So just like complementary function, so sine of 90 degrees minus alpha, for example, that's cosine of alpha. But because this is 2 theta, so that's cosine of 2 theta. Then the cancel out W, so we have 1 over 2, and the equivalent of this is cosine 2 theta, equals 1 over sine of 90 degrees plus theta is cosine theta. This is the explanation from trigonometry. Expand, so we have sine 90 degrees cosine theta plus cosine 90 degrees sine theta. Since cosine 90 is 0, sine 90 degrees is 1, so that means it is equivalent to cosine theta. You can also expand this if you're not familiar. This is sine 90 degrees times cosine of 2 theta. Sine 90 is 1 times cosine 2 theta, so that's already cosine 2 theta, minus cosine 90. Cosine 90 is 0 times sine of 2 theta. So 0 times sine 2 theta is 0. So that's why it is cosine 2 theta indeed. So rearranging, we have cosine theta equals 2 cosine 2 theta. Then if you solve this equation by using trigonometric identities, you can use this identity cosine 2 theta equals 2 cosine square theta minus 1. If you want, then use quadratic equation. So since quadratic formula, since this can be solved by your calculator, high-tech calculator, then using that high-tech calculator, it is 32.53 degrees. Theta is 32.53 degrees. Likewise, the second way is when a ball is placed inside this hemispherical ball, the ball will be at rest when it stays at the lowest position, so at the bottom, farthest from the top. So therefore, the idea is, because this is the center of gravity of the bar, this will be in equilibrium when this center of gravity is farthest from the top, just like the idea there. If it is still here, then it adjusts, it slides, just like a ball. It will just move back and forth until such a time that it will be at rest at the lowest point, or when its center of gravity is farthest from the top. So that's the explanation. Then I'll enlarge this part here. Take note that this is 2r cosine theta minus r, and the angle here is theta, which is now this, and I call this yg. So the idea is, using calculus, I'm going to maximize y sub g. From trigonometry, y sub g is hypotenuse, which is quantity 2r cosine theta minus r times sine of theta. So factor out r, then distribute sine theta. So the first term inside the parentheses would be 2 sine theta cosine theta, which is sine 2 theta, trigonometric identity, then minus sine theta, So differentiating and maximizing yg with respect to theta. So we have constant r, derivative of sine 2 theta is cosine 2 theta, times derivative of 2 theta with respect to theta is 2, then minus derivative of sine theta is cosine theta. Then we equate it to 0 because this is the slope between the curve yg and theta. And at the highest point, the tangent is horizontal, the slope is 0, so that's why we equate it to 0. So 0 over r is still 0. So this is 2r cosine 2 theta minus cosine theta equals 0, or 2 cosine 2 theta equals cosine theta, which is the same equation as this. So because they are the same, and theta is also the same, 32.53 degrees. So that's it for this video.